سلام علیکم. Uh, I'm sorry because of my late. Okay, in the name of God, this is another session of advanced advanced database, and today I'm going to talk about another topic in the of this course. Okay. So let me. Okay, I'm going to share another file, another PDF file. So okay, stop this and share another file. The title of this session is derived data. I'm going to talk about the derived data and in batch processing. Uh, does this course include end of semester research or homework? No, Mustafa. Only you have the final exam, and uh, we have not any research or homework for this course. Thank you, Omar. Uh, no, it's morning. Okay, Omar, in Iran. So good morning, Omar. Uh, I don't know where are you, but okay. Could you upload the PDF on there? So yes, Mohammed said yes. Please let me to upload this. I'm going to upload derive data in your portal, in Darsa portal. Okay, it's uploaded in the data in the data portal. Okay, now we can start this session. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you know, the data system are often more complex. You know, the database designer decide about the appropriate architecture to store data in database. Okay, both either in one machine or they can use distributed machines and distributed databases. Okay, so overall, the architecture is very important in storing data, and so I can say the data systems are often more complex, and usual applications commonly use a combination of several different data store, indexes, caches, analytic systems, different tools, different mechanism to store data, and after that to read data from database. Okay, for different types of query which can be used on database. Okay, so the data system are often more complex, and we examine the issue around integrating multiple different data systems, even with different data models, into one current application architecture. Usually when we use a distributed database. Okay, so usually we need to use different data systems and different models which can be used by different databases, and we need to use them in one coherent application architecture. So usually we need to use derived data. You know, the database software includes multiple records which are stored in different tables. Okay, I can say there is systems of records, and you know, systems that usually systems that records and new data is in normalized form. In principle, databases, you learn something about the normalization forms. You know, different forms are introduced for normalization: form 1, form 2, form 3, form 5, form 4, and these forms are utilized to create normalized form for data, and usually because of some concept, some reasons, which consists of data anomaly, data redundancy, we need to transform data to the normalized form, and these normalized form are used to get data and store data. But when we want to get appropriate forms of data, we need to use derived data. Derived data, data in the derived system is a result of taking some existing data from another system and transform or processing it in some way. Usually, we can use the virtual table or views in databases. The virtual table is a combination of some columns from different table which integrated into one table. Okay, sometimes we need to use information which are stored in different tables, and so we need to integrate them into one query, into one tables. So again, the data in a derived system is a result of taking some existing data, taking some existing data which are stored in different databases, in different tables, from another systems, and transform or processing it in some way. If you lose derived data, you can recreate it from the original space, such as views, such as virtual tables, which consists of the data which belong to different to another tables, the original ones. By using the derived data, we can get the information from different tables. Okay, so if we lose derived data, then again we can recreate it from the original space. Okay, and we know that the derived data is denormalized values. Because the normalized values are stored in original spaces, in original tables, but we want to integrate them into another tables, another views, and we know usually they are denormalized values, and indexes fall into this category. Mustafa wrote that example of derived data are indexes, caches, and not. Yes, caches is correct. It's right. Materials, yes, it's right, but sometimes it can be indexes, yes. Yes, Mustafa. Sure. Okay, and derived data, it is redundant. We know that derived data is redundant because the derived data is get from the original spaces, and the original spaces when we want to design appropriate architecture to for storing data. Okay, so we normalize data, and when we normalize data, and the normalized data are stored in the original spaces, in original tables. And when we use the derived data, okay, we know the derived data is redundant, but they can help us to increase the query throughput. So the derived data is redundant because it duplicates existing information, but it's often essential for getting a good performance on read queries. It's often essential for getting good performance on read queries. Okay. Yes, because when we use the caches, when we use the views, okay, some steps which are needed to create appropriate output for our queries, and this step can be omitted. And okay, and the query will increase for read queries. Most databases, storage engines, are not inherently either a system of record or a derived systems, and we know they are just a tool and append to us. We must do some process to define appropriate architecture for storing data. Okay, so the databases and some things which are provided for us, there are just tools, and it's we are the administrator to okay, analyze the data, do some process for normalization and something else. We create Nazar wrote we create and define them and make them a system. Yes, Nazar, sure. Sorry. Okay, I talk about different type of system can be used in different systems. Okay, we can categorize the type of system into three categories for databases. Okay, services, batch processing systems, and stream process systems. The services is used in online systems. The services is used in online systems. You know, the online system consists of different services, and a service waits for a request or instruction from a client to arrive, and then it responds. Usually, okay, we know the services should process immediately after arriving the request or instruction from the client. Okay, it's called online systems. Is response time a measure of service performance? Yes, yes, Mustafa, it can be used to measure the service performance. Response time is very important. Usually in yes, usually in real-time system, in online systems, it's very important. Okay, another type of system is batch process systems. I'm going to talk about this system and the derived data in batch process system. These systems are offline. These systems are offline. Usually, these systems consume input, run a job, and produce output. For batch process system, the data should be sent for batch process system as the model inputs, and okay, we need to run a job, but the job uh, can perform after receiving the inputs after some times, because this system is offline, and job consume the input and produce output. Usually the throughput is an important characteristics for the offline system, and we can measure the performance of system by using by calculating the throughput. Throughput is the number of process, number of jobs which are executed in the period of time. And finally, the third one is the stream processing system, which are between the online and batch processing, between these two previous systems. I can say the stream process systems is near real-time system, and it's between online and batch processing, operate on events shortly after they happen. The stream of data are sent to this processing system, and the process system, after getting the information, getting the inputs, okay, it can operate on events, and usually this system have a lower latency, and again this system build up a batch processing. Okay, they build up a batch processing, but with a lower latency, because any inputs which arrive to the system, and the stream process system try to trying to run appropriate job for any input for any inputs which are arrive. Okay, they try to execute appropriate job. What does batch processing mean? In the batch processing with Omar, please pay attention to me. In batch processing, we talk about the offline systems. The offline system is some system which can get inputs, and after some times, because the inputs are arrived to the system, and this system has appropriate time to execute the inputs, and the inputs are arrived to the system, and the job can perform, and the job can execute, because the input are received, and there is not I can say let me there is not a conversation or another vocab can yes, there is not conversation between the uh, between between the system, between the job and the client, uh, and yes, and the all inputs are get by the system, and okay, there is no conversation again between the client and the job because it's an offline system, and so the job can execute in different times. Okay, it's not important because all inputs are received and okay. Okay, well, welcome. Okay, I'm going to talk about map reduce. Map reduce and batch process. Don't forget, I'm going to talk about the batch process system and talk about one important process which is called the map reduce on batch processing systems. Batch processing algorithm published in 2004, and this algorithm is implemented in various open source data systems such as Hadoop, CouchDB, and MongoDB. And a major step forward, a step in terms of scale of processing that could be achieved on commodity hardware, gained different databases, implemented the map reduce and this batch processing algorithm. I'm going to talk about these. The map reduce includes two different processes, map and reduce. Okay, what is it? Okay, I'm going to talk about it. It's a scalable. It must be scalable for. It must be scalable in advanced databases, but usually when we can use map reduce on a single on a yes single matching. Okay, it can be used, but usually when we talk about the advanced databases, okay, we need to execute this process on some matching. Okay, so it must be scalable. Okay, one example of batch processing with Unix tools. Batch processing with Unix tools. In this figure, you can see a record of single log file. You know, the log file includes the transaction which happen on the systems. Okay, it can be for on the servers, on the personal computer machines. Okay, it's not difference. The data which are stored in log file are different, but the log file and the concept of log file is the same between all machines. Again, what is the log file? The log file is the file which contain of some information about the transaction which happened on the computer. Okay, you can see a simple log file, a simple one record of a simple log file I think it's related to the server, and you can see one IP addresses, the timestamp, the method which is used by a client to get the appropriate information. For example, I think the clients in the web server wants to send the HTTP request and to request a web page. Okay, it can be a web page. The name of web page vs CSS typography.css. It is the protocol which is used by the client, the status, some data which is sent by this request. It's the name of server. It's the host name of the server, the martin.clubman.com. The Mozilla browser is used to send the request from the client to the server, and sometimes some information about the systems which is used by the client to send request, HTTP request to get the web page from the server. Yes, it can be this. It can be a record which specify this information and other information for us about the requests which are sent to the yes, web server. Okay, is it correct? It's clear for you? Could you repeat it shortly, please? Nazar asked. Okay. Nazar, I talk about the log file. I say you that log file includes some data about the transaction which happened between the clients and server. It can some different types of log file are introduced for different systems, personal computer servers. Okay, but no, I think this log file is related to the server, is a web server. You know, different clients are send the request to the web server to get web page, appropriate web page, and some other requests. Okay, so in this the log file includes many records. This is one record of a simple log file. I talk about some information which are stored in this record. I say you that this is the IP address of the client which are connected, which is connected to the server. This is the timestamp. You know, this timestamp show us when the client wants to send information from the web server. Okay, the client request is sent in this time. This is the method, you know, for getting information from web server. Different methods such as get and post can be used. And okay, it specified the get method is used to get information from the client of server. This is the name of it's the name of page. It's the name of web page which is requested by the client by this protocol HTTP. Okay, I talk about this. Can you understand it? Can you get it? Mustafa, please, doctor, do we need to write code or just understand how to read it? Do we need to write code? Write code for what, Mustafa? Yes, Nazar, yes. It's right. Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa, you wrote. Do we need to write code, program, data for advanced database? No. You you need to understand the concept and some challenge uh, um, of advanced databases. This record exists in every file, uh, not every file, in the log file, Nazar, in the log file. If you search about the log file on the web, you can um, understand it because you can say something about the log file. Usually, the web programs, different websites use these information, the log file, to show some information uh, the clients which are used the information which are used on the website. The number of clients, the client from which countries are interested to visit the website, which page are interesting for the client, which okay, something else. Different information can be get from the log file. Okay, so it's not important because I'm going to talk about the simple log analysis. Okay, I'm talking about one process which can be used on this information. I'm going to talk about which pages are interesting, which pages are interesting for the users, for the clients. I'm going to talk about this. And okay, so we need to um, write appropriate commands or instruction to get to compute this information. Okay, so this is an example with about batch processing with Unix tools. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this command which can be used on Unix tools to create appropriate data for us about, again, which uh, which pages are interested for clients. Okay, by using the cat command, we can read the records which are stored in the appropriate log file. This log file is the name of this log file is access.log. Access.log is the name of this log file. Okay, so the first we need to read our records which are stored in this log file. Okay, so by using this command, we can read our records from the log file. After that, we want to read only the seventh part. Read only the seventh part of each record. Okay, this is the first part, second part, third part, fourth, 5, 6, and 7. Yes, it's the seventh part of each record. Okay, this part is the name of page which is visited by the client. Again, it's the name page which is visited by the client. Okay, so by using the awk command, we can separate the seventh part of each record. Oh, okay, is it clear for you? Can you get it? Okay. For example, one page is A. Okay, A is the name of one page. B, A, C, B. Okay, is the name of some it's the name of some pages which are visited by the clients. Okay, by using the sort command, you can say between each two command, you can see the pipe sign. The pipe sign. This sign is used to transfer the output of the first command as the input for the second of the second command. Okay, so you can see the command 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are concat to each other by using the pipe sign. Don't forget the output of each command in the Unix tools can be used as the input of the next command. So the output of the cat command is the input of AWK command. and the output of awk command is the input of the sort command. Okay. 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 By using the sort command, this information can sort, and the output of sort command is it. I'm going to write the output of the sort command. A, B, B, and C. Yes, this is the output of the sort command. Double A, because okay, you can see the left okay, this is the output of sort command. And after that, by using the unique command, we omitted the duplicate value of some records. Okay, so by using the unique unique, we omit the duplicate values of any web page. Okay, so in the A, and also you can see the counter and the count value for each web page is wrote in front of each web page. So A and the value 2. After that, B and again value 2, the count value, and C and value 1. So don't forget that for each web page we can see the duplicate number of any value. Is it clear? Okay, after that, by using the sort command on the duplicate value, we can sort. Sorry, I'm going to change these examples. Okay, so I'm going to change this example. I'm going to, okay, C and C. Okay, I changed this example because I'm going to have the duplicate number for C as 3. Okay, so I add the two other C's. Okay. Okay, after that, by using the sort command on the duplicate number, don't forget, I'm going to execute sort command on this information. Okay, we are going to sort the data according to the duplicate number, and so we can see the C with duplicate number 3 at the first, and after that we can see A and B with duplicate number 2. Okay, it can be okay. And the final command is head. Head return by using this command head -n phi, and this command return the 5 values at the first of the list. Yes, from the first of the list. Okay, so in this example, when we change the head from 5, for example, to 1, if we change it for this example, the head -n 1, only the page 3 return from this command. Okay, so by using this, only the page C with duplicate number 3 return from this command. Can you get it? Can you get this example? Yes, yes, Mustafa. Yes, in order. Thank you. Okay, the last step, you can see the command head nazar. Head -n return the head of lists. By using this number, you can see the number of items which are placed in the head of list. Again, this number show us the number of items which are placed in the head of list. Okay, so when we change the 5 to 1, okay, so only the first item from the head of list return to us as the output of this command. Okay, so because my example is so small, okay, I change the head okay, from 5 to 1 and to return only one item, the best item from the first of list. Okay, and when we use 5, we will get the first 5 items. Yes, yes, Nazar. Yes, the 5. If we need the first 5 items, if we need the first 5 items, okay, we need to change from 1 to 5. Welcome. Any other question? Okay, we can go to the next slide. So let me okay. The next slide talk about the Unix philosophy. The Unix philosophy includes some of instruction which are provided for the programmer, for the developer about the Unix and how we can write appropriate functions for the Unix. Unix is the Unix is a open source operating systems, and Unix is introduced after Windows. The Windows operating system is introduced by Microsoft, but and the Windows is not open source, and you need to pay cost for utilizing the Windows. Okay, so sometimes and some researchers, some scientists decide to introduce Unix as the open source operating systems. These scientists introduced the philosophy for the Unix, and any scientist around the world can cooperate to enhance the Unix performance. So some philosophy are introduced for Unix. We can read some items. Make each program do one thing well. To do a new job, build afresh rather than complicate old program by adding new features. Okay, this is one item is important. Okay, we can build afresh component instead of change the old program by adding new features. Okay, because this method can increase complexity, and so we can build afresh one. Expect the output of every program to become the input to another as yet unknown. Okay, so the output of every program can be the input of another. We should consider about this item. Even as yet unknown. The other program as yet unknown program. Okay, don't clutter output with extraneous information. Avoid stringently columnar or binary input format. Don't insist on the interactive input. Design and build software, even operating system, to be tried early, ideally within weeks. Don't hesitate to throw away the clumsy parts and rebuild them. Okay, so a small module is better to define a small module, not complicated module. And so, for creating complicated module, you need to consume more time, many weeks. Okay, so instead of producing a complicated module, you can select and choose some small module which can be created within weeks, and use tools in preference to unskill help to lighten a programming task, even if you have to detour to build the tools and expect to draw some of them out after you finish using them. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the map reduce. Before this slide, in the two previous slides, I talk about some philosophy of some philosophies which are presented for Unix. Okay, before talking about this slide, we can rest for some minutes. If you agree with me, we can rest for about 5 minutes. After that, inshallah, I will talking about the distributed is like Unix tools. Thank you. Okay, we have a break time for only 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I came back to the class. Uh, okay, distributed is like unit tools. I'm going to talk about this. MapReduce is like Unix tools, but distributed across potentially thousands of machines. Okay, you know, in this course, I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about distributed systems and distributed databases. Okay, so uh, I'm going to talk about the MapReduce in distributed databases. So MapReduce is likely tools, but distributed across potentially thousands of matches. MapReduce's jobs read and write a file on a distributed file system. We need to use distributed file system. You know, the distributed file system include the information of file system which are spread between some machines. Okay, so the MapReduce, the MapReduce jobs need to read some information from some file and route the output on the other files. Okay, so the MapReduce need to use distributed file systems. Don't forget that we are talking about the distributed systems and different and thousand matches, and the information are spread between thousands of matches. Okay, so instead of using a centralized file system, we need to use distributed file systems. Okay, for example, the Hadoop is introduced for this file system. In Hadoop's implementation of MapReduce, that file system is scale HDFS. It's called the Hadoop distributed file system. Before Hadoop, the GFS Google file system is introduced, but the Google file system was the closed source, and Hadoop introduced implement MapReduce, the open source MapReduce process. Okay, so don't forget Hadoop's implementation of MapReduce MapReduce file system is called HDFS. HDFS is get from Hadoop distributed file system. Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, Hadoop firstly introduced the distributed file system, and after that it provide develop the MapReduce process. After Hadoop, some other distributed file systems are introduced by which are called Glass Surface, Quadcast file system, object storage services, which implemented by Amazon company, and it's called the Amazon tree. Azure blob storage. This distributed file system is implemented by Microsoft, and okay, other file systems such as OpenStack Swift. Okay, there are similar, but okay, they implemented Hadoop after Hadoop. HDFS after Hadoop file system, Hadoop distributed file systems. HDFS is based on share nothing principle. don't please consider, pay attention to these sentences. HDFS is based on share nothing principle, because in contrast to network attached storage and storage area network, which consists of a central machine that consists of all information. Again, the network attached storage, or NAS, and storage area network, SAN. These systems utilize a central machine which consists of all information, and usually in the network, it can be used, and for only they try to spread the queries in different times, and all queries should send only to the central machine. But Hadoop implement a distributed file system. Okay, so the information are spread over some machines. It's very important usually when we encounter of having 1,000 of machines. Is it clear for you? Something that I say in these slides? It's clear? Is clear for you? Something that I say? Okay, thank you, Nazar. Mar Mustafa asked how to get rid of data redundancy. I don't talk about the redundancy, Mustafa. I talk about the derived data. I say you that when we use derived data, okay, we use the redundant data, because the derived data are obtained from original data, from original spaces, and by executing some process. Okay, so I don't talk about the redundancy. Okay, thank you, Mustafa. But the data, no, I'm going to talk about, I'm talking about the loss of data which are spread between some machines, and there are some files, and these files are in some machines, and we are going to using appropriate file system, which can be distributed file system, to obtain the places, the locations of any file system, and we need to know which information are stored in any file, in any file system. Okay, so I'm talking about the HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. HDFS consists of a daemon process, a daemon process running on each machine, allow other nodes to access file store. Yes, it's a daemon process. I'm going to talk about the daemon process. And don't forget, daemon process running on each machine and allow our other nodes to access file store, because okay, the files the files are stored in different machines, and we need to access the file the file store. Okay, so for this we need to use appropriate process. The process MapReduce is need to access file store. A central process, a central server keep track of file block of matches. It's called name node. A name node is a central server. Server keeps track of file blocks on matches. Okay, so the name node consists of the information about the file blocks which are stored on different matches. Okay, conceptually create one big file system. Okay, because there are many file systems which are stored in different matches. Usually when we encounter thousands of matches. Blocks are replicated on multiple matches. Yes, you know, when we start to talk about the distributed the database, I talk about the replication. I say you that replication is very important because okay, different reasons are introduced for us to know that the replication is very important. Okay, so blocks are replicated on multiple matches because of fault tolerance. Usually because of one important reason is fault tolerance and increasing the fault tolerance. And also you can see one expression that is similar to RAID. RAID consists of two hard disks. One of them is main, and okay, the main hard disks are used by to store data, are used by other matches. Okay, and the second hard disk in the RAID is used for backup. If the main hard disk is failure, and the backup can be used. How to get rid of repeat file store on multiple matches. Okay, well, so I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to read the file from different matches, from multiple matches. Okay, I'm going to talk about this and which method is used by MapReduce process to read the information from the okay, different files stored to get appropriate output. Okay, so if you agree with me, we can talk about this in the next session. Yes, we can talk about. If you agree with me, we can talk about this in the next session. Okay. Do you have any question? Doctor, can you please explain the question within the subject external in the final exam and the answer is in the PDF format or written by the hand and extra include. Okay, Mustafa, inshallah, in the next session, I'm going to talk about, please ask this question in the next session. In the next session, at the first, I'm going to finish this file only 5 or 6 slides are remain for this topic. After that, inshallah, I will answer your question about the final exam. Okay. Have a good day. And if you have not any question, we can bye for now. Welcome. خدا حافظ شما، خدا نگهدار شما بچه‌ها. متشکرم و خدا حافظ. خسته نباشید. متشکرم و خدا حافظ.